When will new car prices drop? You've been asking, and here's the answer. Car prices have been accelerating in recent months, with average new car transaction prices being about 30% higher than they were the same month 3 years ago. That was during the pandemic shutdown. What we are seeing now is that new vehicles this quarter, transaction prices are dropping a little bit, which is actually good. We haven't seen that in nearly 2 years, and manufacturers' incentives have been increasing. Not a lot of them, but a few of them. We're going to go through some of those details. We just saw car prices increase dramatically, and now sales prices are a bit more negotiable. Combined with soaring gasoline prices and interest rates, this is making car ownership even more onerous and putting the brakes on auto sales. And that may mean that dealers are a bit more flexible as vehicles return to lots. In the last several years, car shoppers grew accustomed to paying more than MSRP, or manufacturer's suggested retail price, or window sticker. So as new car prices increased, drivers started to look at used cars, and then they increased as well. There is so much more to discuss in this, but first I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We give you more than car reviews and first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts, because knowledge is power. What drives new car prices? Well, according to Kelley Blue Book's data, new car average transaction prices dipped month over month in March to $48,008. That's down about $515 from February. However, it's the first time average transaction prices fell below MSRP in nearly 2 years, and manufacturers' incentives are now starting to increase, but we'll talk more about that in just a second. Typical factors affecting new car prices include inventory availability, manufacturers' incentives, dealer discounts, and trade-in vehicle values. All 4 of those factors faced major disruptions in the last years, which created a rise in retail prices. Now, the data shows that higher interest rates for car loans and inflation continues to hurt new vehicle sales of less expensive models. However, strong luxury vehicle sales pushed up new vehicle prices on a higher average, and in March, car buyers paid an average transaction price of $44,182 for non-luxury vehicles, and for luxury vehicles, they paid an average of $65,202. The latest transaction data from March reveals new vehicle prices continued a downward trend through the first quarter of 2023, according to industry insights for Cox Automotive Group, which is part of Kelley Blue Book. Both luxury and non-luxury prices were driven down month over month, and we've been anticipating transaction price declines as inventory has steadily improved and choice has expanded. We now see more vehicles on dealer lots, and this means dealers simply don't have the pricing power they did 6 months ago when they were jacking up the prices with additional dealer markups. The average transaction for a new electric car in March was up to $58,940, a slight increase of $313 from last month. We still have a worldwide microchip shortage, believe it or not, and that is affecting new car inventories. These microchips are crucial because they control everything from engine timing to navigation systems, and automakers couldn't build cars as fast as they wanted to, despite recent improvements on car inventories. The chip shortage continues to linger for some car manufacturers and certain models. It has some manufacturers like Ford rethinking inventories for their long haul, even when the chip shortage is fully resolved. Dealerships measure the stock of new cars to sell in a metric called days of inventory, or inventory turns. It's how long it would take for them to sell out a new vehicle as today's sales pace if the automaker stopped building cars today. So last year, inventory fell to just 1 week. By the end of January, many brands' inventories was 68% higher than they were a year ago. However, the same car manufacturers remain in recovery mode. Overall, inventory continues to improve. By the end of March 2023, the auto industry had a 56-day supply of vehicles to sell. It's inching closer to what was considered normal supply, or about 60 days worth of vehicles. As for the lower price category, that's a tighter supply. And if a shopper wants a car under $20,000, that's the toughest ones to find, with a 24-day supply of vehicles to sell. Here's some good news. Incentives are coming back slowly. For the first time in a year, car makers used more incentives to attract buyers. According to Kelley Blue Book, car makers spent 3.2% of their average transaction price on incentives, meant to sell more vehicles. Incentives were an average of about $1,500. Luxury vehicle incentives reached 6.7% on average of transaction prices. That's good news for you. And when automakers build an oversupply of cars, they discount the vehicles to get them off dealer lots. For the past several years, car makers and dealerships showed no glut of cars to sell, and they barely discounted anything. Well, now supply is starting to build up again, partly because higher interest rates on car loans. And that could be good if you got the cash and the credit to buy a new vehicle. How does this pan out? Well, consumers paid about $171 less than window sticker, where last year they paid nearly $1,000 more. So car incentives remain low compared to pre-pandemic rates. However, as inventory improves, incentives are getting stronger and more upward. So when will new car prices go way down? With some brands and some dealerships, prices began dropping, while other brands such as Honda, Kia, Hyundai, and Toyota, well, shoppers must be prepared to hunt and pay for a more popular vehicle. Those hard-to-find vehicles include the Toyota RAV4, the Subaru Crosstrek, Toyota Camry, Subaru Forester, Honda CR-V, Honda Civic, Hyundai Palisade, and the Kia Telluride. Some vehicles are selling for more than sticker price, and these vehicles are in high demand and low supply, and they can be anything from a Toyota Prius to a Chevy Corvette, certain Porsche models, a Ford Raptor R, and that's just naming a few. Looking forward, the recent increase in interest rates will slow down big-ticket purchases and make it harder to finance or lease a vehicle. The easing microchip shortage should resolve itself by 2023, or so we're told, but that seems to keep changing. That will continue to increase the supply of new vehicles once chips finally come back into play. Those trends could bring down the price of even the most popular vehicles. While finding a low price on a new car may be possible, it just may not be the car you thought you would buy. Or another option is go outside a major city to smaller towns where competition isn't as tough and they want your business. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, because I'm sure you will, and I'm kind of curious what you're paying for cars out there these days, I'll be happy to answer them. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is down in the description, plus all the links for my website, social media, book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.